Hey YouTubers, it's Nuke, and I think this is going to be my final All-Stars game of the night. This is going to be Stork versus Fantasy. Call me crazy, and I'm sure you are. I know you, Internet. But I've actually been anticipating this more than the Bisu versus Jaedong finale of the night. This is my finale right here. This is Stork versus Fantasy, one of my favorite rivalries. Next to the Fantasy versus Jaedong rivalry, of course. And, of course, the top rivalry, Stork versus Bisu. I love the Stork versus Bisu rivalry. But this one in particular is great because Stork has the best versus Terran of any Protoss, and Fantasy has the best versus Protoss of any Terran. So when they meet, it is just epic! I love Stork versus Fantasy games. And we're probably not going to see these guys joking around too much, a lot like Yellow and Boxer did, because they both kind of screwed each other over recently. I mean, Fantasy took Stork's chances of moving up in the OSL, and Stork took, well, let me get my countdown here, 2, 1, 0. Stork took Fantasy's chances of representing Korea in the World Cyber Games. So there's a little bit of bad blood between these two. Probably not a whole lot of bad blood, but yeah, you're probably not going to see him chatting it up too much here. This is on Neo Medusa, by the way. The brand new Medusa to keep Zergs from building in the middle and screwing over Protosses. But yes. And it's supposed to be a little bit more friendly for Terrans, since there is some room to build in the middle of the map. Not a whole lot. Not enough to place down a hatchery or something. There's a Team Liquid fan from Canada. Most of my subscribers are from Canada. A majority of them anyway. So, hey, Canada! Okay, looks like Stork is going to go out and put down his pylon and probably go out to scout after that. No, he's going to bring his probe back. And yes, Bork powered tonight. Bisu will be playing right after this. I'm not going to cover that game. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be covering the Boxer versus Yellow game. Oh, speaking of Bisu and Jaedong, there is Jaedong spitting out plastic. It's a great thing to capture on camera. I assume that Jaedong knows he's on camera at this point. Let's see if he starts eating a big ice cream sundae or something. There he goes. He doesn't really care that he's on camera. Showing these guys a long time, trying to get the viewers hyped for the next match. Yes, I'm sure that's going to be a good match. But I need sleep, so I'm not going to cover it. And like I said, I'm not going to cover the Boxer versus Yellow game anyway, which is going to disappoint some people probably. But to be honest, every SC2GG commentator and their grandma is going to cover that game, so I don't see much of a point of it anyway. You'll just have to wait a little bit longer for it, I'm sure. Here comes the Nexus from Stork. He's putting down a very quick Nexus. And Fantasy is trying to keep the cheese away. He's going to try to keep Stork from trying to sneak a probe through that pyramid by putting down a pylon right there. There's, oh god, the ridiculous mascot. Oh god. Why don't get that off the screen? I don't want to see it. Thank you. Okay, now Fantasy's coming up here, going to scout Stork in the right direction. Stork, I don't think is going to scout Fantasy in the right direction. I think he's going to go down, scout the wrong way, unless he has super awesome spider senses. He does have awesome spider sense. His spider senses are tingling, and he's coming down. He's going to scout Fantasy in the right direction. Looks like Fantasy getting just enough gas to put down that factory, which probably means a vulture opening of some kind. If he was going to go for a vulture drop play, he'd probably be mining with more SCVs. The Cybernetics core coming up from Stork, and now Fantasy has scouted that second Nexus coming down. So he's going to have to decide whether or not he should push with a troop, try to push with vultures and keep the probes from mining at that second base or not. But yeah, he's got to pull together his troops and come up with something fast. He's not pumping any Marines, actually, so this could be a very heavy Vulture build. He could actually be going for another factory to get double the Vultures out. Oh, he's saving up for a base. I see. He's going to put it right here at his mineral only. Fantasy doesn't need a whole lot of gas for his style of play. Like I said, he goes for a lot of Vultures, and that means no gas. Well, basically only be using gas for dropships and eventually tanks. Eventually he's going to transition into tanks. That seems to be the common fantasy build when it comes to versus Protoss. Here comes the first Vulture. He's probably going to try to pick off a couple probes with that.